Hello, my name is Jeremy, this is Red Beans Recording, and I have here a Teenage Engineering pocket operator PO-32 Tonic. This is the newest pocket operator from Teenage Engineering, a series of synthesizer, drum machine, groove boxy, calculator looking things that all have a little uniqueness to each of them. And the thing that makes this one unique is, aside from being a very, very fun drum machine, drum synthesizer groove box thing, it also interacts with a VST plugin called Tonic through this little microphone here to allow you to share sounds between the VST and the device. So you can make sounds in Tonic and port them over through this little microphone here into this guy, essentially giving you a lot of the power of Tonic in a little calculator you can take with you. Now, I'm not going to be getting into that functionality today. I just want to go through this guy as it stands out of the box and go through what it does and how it sounds. All right? So, if you're familiar with the other pocket operators, the functionality of this is pretty much the same. There are a few differences, and there's some really cool things that Teenage Engineering did with it that make it really, really fun to play. So let's just go through the buttons real quick and the knobs and talk about what each one does. So you have 16 pads here. Each pad is a sound. You actually have these arranged in choke groups, 4 vertical pads each represent a choke group. You have kind of like snares here, percussion, hi-hats, and cymbals, and kick drums. A choke group means that the note below it or any other note in this choke group will choke another note, sort of like when you are playing a drum kit and you hit an open hi-hat and then close the hi-hat, you choke the open hi-hat. So like, just for instance, here's a longer sound right here. I can choke this by pressing another one. So that means you can actually do some really cool things with it in performance, which I'll show you later on. So each one of these represents a sound. Your sound button up here selects each one for editing and step sequencing. The pattern button selects one of the 16 patterns here, and you can chain patterns by holding pattern down and pressing different pattern buttons in sequence. You can also play a single pattern multiple times if you want to by pressing that pattern twice and then sequence other patterns after it. So you can actually chain things together in rather complex songs. The BPM button, when pressed, will adjust volume by pressing these pads. Right now I have it at about half volume. 16 would be the loudest, 4 is about midway. It also controls the BPM by turning this knob and the swing by turning this other knob. It also has a dual function of adjusting sync mode in conjunction with this button right here, which would give you a click if you wanted it. A click meaning a metronome sound. We're not going to mess with that right now. So I'm going to use the function button to clear my pattern right here. So now I have a blank pattern. This button here is the function/accent button. It will do a couple things like what you just saw with clearing the pattern. It will also allow you to copy patterns in conjunction with the pattern button. And it will add an accent to one of your steps and one of your notes, and we'll show you how that sounds later. Effects button. By holding this down, you have access to a bank of 16 effects that you can play in real time and also pattern lock to a step. And these effects are really, really, really cool in this guy. Like some of the best effects for just messing around that I've heard of in any of the pocket operators. Really, really cool stuff. Play button plays the pattern. Amazing. And then the right button down here will get you into different write modes, step sequencing modes, parameter locking modes, recording modes. If you hold it down, you get into a different mode. So you'll be using this a lot. Okay, so I have a blank pattern and I want to record a drum pattern into it. So there's a couple ways you can do that. You can record in real time while the pattern's playing, and you can record a step sequence. So we're going to start off by recording a step sequence. So I'm going to select a sound, in this case, my first bass drum here. Bass drum. I'm going to press the right button, which turns on this little icon right here. See? That means I'm in step record or edit mode. Now I have 16 steps that I can put a drum on. So I'm going to make a basic 4 on the floor pattern. Whoa, my BPM is really high. 130. Fantastic. All right, so now I have a kick drum on there. These two knobs also double as a way to do parameter changes to every one of these sounds. These sounds have two variations you can mess with. This one will mess with pitch, and this one will mess with a morph function, which actually can be defined within the Microtonic VST software. For the purpose of this demonstration, we'll just show you what it sounds like with the default morph settings. So I can record these parameter changes in real time, but first let's just listen to what the knob might do to a kick drum. So you can hear there's a pretty decent variation there. So let's record a more complex of a pattern and see what we can do with playing around with that kind of stuff. I'm going to select another sound. In this case, how about this little perk sound over here? All right, I want a little bit more swing to this, so I'm going to hold my BPM button and increase the swing here. Yeah, here we go, kind of nartsy. All right, now a snare would be dope. So I'm going to select, how about this default snare here. Now I'm going to record this in real time as opposed to step sequencing. So I'm going to hold down the right button, and now since I can play any of these sounds and they'll record. So let's just record some stuff in real time. Now I want to record the parameter changes for this snare in real time. So I'm going to select the sound, hold down the right button, and play with the knobs. Do the same thing for this perk sound to give it a bit more variation. You can hear now what I just did in real time is now recorded, so that's pretty cool. You can actually make some complex stuff that way. Let's get some hi-hats going. All right, so now we have a bit more of a complex pattern going. Now I'm going to show you how choke groups can make this thing interesting. If you recall, choke groups mean that these four banks here can be choked by pressing another one. What I discovered is that you can do this in real time. So I can actually mute any one of these things and play something live over it if I want. So let's do that now. I love it. All right, so that's one way you can spice up a performance. The other way is with the effects. So let's play around with those a bit right now. If you press the right button and mess with the effects, you can actually keep them, they'll parameter lock to the steps, and those effects will be part of your recording. So this is live. I'm going to hold down effects and play that. Okay, now I'm going to use the accent button to add accents to some of my steps to beef up the pattern. And I'm going to do that by pushing the right button, holding down the accent button, and turning on the steps that I want accent on. In this case, I'm going to go for each downbeat and offbeat, and just to mess it up, the last 16th note. Clearing the effects so you can hear what the accent does. Without accent. With accent. Beefier, right? You can actually solo sounds while you're playing and mute them. So let's try that now. If I remember correctly, it's by pressing accent and selecting a sound. So accent, while playing, holding down accent and selecting a sound will mute it. Now holding down sound will solo it. That's a pretty cool way to add extra performance to your performance. So that's the pocket operator PO-32 Tonic. And it's a beast. I've had a lot of fun playing with this. So what I want to do now is just take some time and play some stuff that I've already recorded. So cheers. Thanks for watching. I hope this was informative. Yeah.